think we're in an interesting place in our country where we're taking a really good look at who we are. And I think within the theater industry, we're finally waking up to the fact that we have replicated the things that we are seeing in the world within our industry. And I think in taking this hard look at ourselves, we're seeing that some changes have to be made, and that is very exciting to me. There are spaces within the music field in Broadway and in musical theater where you see people moving up based on who they know. That's how you get in the door. And so in looking at how we replicate the same systems that we see in the world and looking at them and really taking a hard look at ourselves to see, oh, if there's no access, then the same people are moving into the same positions. And so I'm very proud of the founding members of MUSE for saying, this is not the way we need to move forward. And that in this moment of stasis where we cannot work, where we cannot make theater, which is the thing we love to do, what are the systems we can really look at and what kind of structures can we create that'll make change so that when we are back in a space together, we'll have some things that can create more inclusive environments and create pipelines to get new people who might not think that there's a place for them, to let them know that there is a place for them in our field. Whether that's musical directors or conductors or orchestrators or arrangers, contractors, that there's a place for many diverse thoughts and lived experiences in our industry. So I think that people should get involved with MUSE because I want people to be a part of that change so that we can finally step into a potential that we don't even know exists because we've never had that kind of inclusivity within our industry. So I'm here because I want to be a part of that change, and I want other people to be a part of that change as well. I grew up in a family that loved music. My mother was a musician, my grandmother was a musician, my uncle, my sister, my brother, and we were the first family of the church my grandfather started. So I grew up in church with my mom and my family playing the piano, singing in the choir. But I also had an uncle who was a musical director. So when he would come to town in the summers, he would take me to his rehearsals. So I grew up with this love of both gospel music and musical theater. So it's no surprise that that has become like the epicenter of my work, which is the integration of those two musical forms. I've always had this incredible curiosity about listening to a piece of musical theater and then wondering, when I put it through the lens of gospel music, how can I heighten the emotional part of the music and still stay true to the plot-driven, character-driven art form, which is musical theater. And it was not until 1997 that I was asked for the first time to do vocal arranging for a Broadway show, and that was Street Corners Symphony. Up until then, I had been creating arrangements for my choir, Broadway Inspirational Voices, because I was so interested and curious about how these two musical forms would work together. And because of my work with the choir, I was asked to do these vocal arrangements for the show. And it's sort of built from that people got to know me both as an actor and as an arranger. And with my choir continuing to evolve as a musician, writing more, arranging a lot. So not just doing vocal arrangements, but actually creating arrangements and writing new material became another passion of mine in addition to being an actor and working on the stage. And I find that I'm intrigued by sitting down and looking at a blank piece of paper or at an empty finale score and wondering what that inspiration is going to be, and knowing that it's somewhere living in me and that I just got to find a way to bring it out and put it on the page. And then allowing myself to kind of be open to where the arrangement or the composition takes me. And so I love that I'm really passionate about and curious about the creation of either new material, creating new works, or the arranging and seeing how I can bring my voice to in some way illuminate a piece of music in a different way, focusing on that integration of gospel music and musical theater. If I had to say that defining moment was, really the first time that I got an opportunity to do that on Broadway, really opened up the possibility with something that I love to do, that there actually was a world out there that not only could I do it, but that welcomed what I had and what I had to say artistically and musically. As I said, I grew up in the church, and part of being a member of the First Family, one of the things that was kind of centered in our existence was service, giving back, right? And so I look for, or I am automatically drawn to organizations or practices that allow me to give back, because it was ingrained in me that I stand on the shoulders of the people that came before me. And also, I had so many incredible mentors in my life that saw something in me and said, we're going to challenge you. We're going to help cultivate that thing you have. And it's because of those mentors and teachers that gave me access, that gave me opportunities, that trained and challenged me, that I'm able to be in this position now. And so because of my commitment to giving back, I want to be a part of MUSE, because then I can turn around with these other amazing musicians and make sure that we are cultivating the artistic voices of the next generation of musicians coming behind us, letting them know that not only is what they say valuable, but there is a place for them here. I am excited about MUSE being able to create the pipelines into our field, but also to support those artists once they're there. And so as many classes in master classes that we can do to spread that wealth of knowledge to the next generation, so that they can then fly, I want to be a part of that. Because I feel like the theater industry in this moment, in our stasis, has a rich opportunity to really examine who we are, and then to make sure that we are making it possible for all different diverse voices and talents and lived experiences to have an opportunity to give back, or to pour into the theater industry. And so being a part of MUSE allows me to be another step in that cycle of mentorship, of giving back, of supporting, of service, so that we can also see the possibilities that all these voices can bring in the room, and the potential that the theater industry can step into in that way.